From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today, another important game for the Astros as they try to surge toward a playoff berth. They meet the Oakland A's in the deciding game of this three-game series. Good afternoon, everybody. On this Sunday, Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Julia Morales joins us soon to see who wins this series. The Astros have only lost one of their last 14 home series, and they certainly want to continue what they may have started last night, Ash.
Big step forward with last night's game. A game they were trailing 6-3, came back, and kind of one of the elements of this team late in ball games, able to win them.
And certainly the two-out hits came their way when they really mattered last night, including first major league hit from Matt Duffy.
Matt Duffy came up with this big double, came very close to planting a home run for that first major league hit. It drove in a run to make it 6-5 at the time. Astros still trailing by a run. They went to the seventh inning then. And then it was the big guy going opposite field, Evan Gattis, his 25th on the year, a three-run drive, and the Astros suddenly had the lead first in the game since they led 3-0 early on. But an 8-6 lead, they would tack on a couple of more. But a couple of very big two-out swings for the team.
Now to today's game, and the Astros starter is Colin McHugh, who's won 10 games at home so far this year, and they certainly hope that this is number 11 for him at Minute Maid Park.
Trying to win his 17th overall. Colin McHugh has been a godsend for this team. And Colin McHugh in the last 4 games at Minute Maid Park, absolutely brilliant. 2-1, but that really doesn't tell the story. The ERA comes a lot closer, 0.94. In those 4 games, he's gone at least 7 innings in each one of the starts, in 3 allowing just 1 run. And that has been it. So Colin McHugh on a good mojo here at Minute Maid Park. And how the Astros could certainly use that once again here this afternoon, trying to take 2 out of 3 from a very pesky A's team.
Coming up, momentum swing. If you're only as good as your last game, the Astros have to be feeling great about their playoff chances heading into the season's final 2 weeks. Can they keep the momentum going today? The game is coming up. Root Sports is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. by the new Stewart Cadillac. Luxury and style with downtown convenience. See us at stewartcadillac.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Coming up, Kiss Cam. The Astros need all the love they can get from their home crowd. And thanks to one amorous superfan, Evan Gattis kissed the A's goodbye with one mighty swing. Can El Oso Blanco bobble his way to another big day? Lineups and first pitch are next.
At the most critical at bat of the game at that particular point. It woke everybody up, gave us the lead, and put a lot of belief that we remember how to win games.
And they won big last night. Evan Gattis with that oppo taco to give the Astros the 8-6 lead at the time. They would hang on to win that one. Gattis getting the big swing on his bobblehead night, just doing what he does, driving in runs for this Astros ball club. And, of course, that being a big swing right there, but who knows how much bigger that home run could be as they come down the stretch, trying to win every game that they can. Every game that's in front of them is the most important game. Of course, today's day game against the A's, a quick turnaround from last night's long one, but they're hoping that coming right back to the ballpark, they can carry some of the momentum that they had offensively yesterday. But by winning that game, that did not gain any ground, which is why all of these wins are so important at this time of the year. It's our Toyota drive to the playoffs as we take a look at the standings. Astros still 2.5 games back from the Texas Rangers, who also won last night. How about the Angels, who are creeping their way up, which makes the next series for the Houston Astros very interesting. Those Angels, a game and a half back in the AL wild card, have a 3-game set that starts tomorrow. But today, being the big game as they try to take a series from the Oakland A's, a team that has been tough on them here recently, and they'll try to score some runs for Colin McHugh, who will be on the mound today, who's trying to bounce back from one of his toughest outings of the entire year, trying to bounce back from that tough one in Arlington. Guys, what does this team need to do to keep things going from last night?
Well, if they can build on last night and Colin McHugh can set the tone right here, they will really have something going into that Angel series, which, as you indicated, is going to be a test for both of those clubs, Ash.
Yeah, having the offense come alive last night was a big boost for the team. Obviously, they allowed 6 runs and still won rather handily. You get that offense going that led to Crush City and all that kind of talk earlier in the season. I think you got a team that could put on a little run here at the end of the year.
Collins 16-7 with a 4.05 ERA. 3 starts against Oakland. 2-1, a 4.24. This month he's won 2 with that 5.40 ERA. But as you guys have already said, that last start was a rough one. 5 earned runs in 3 2/3 against Texas. The start before that he beat Oakland, but he allowed 5 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings there. So a total of 10 earned runs allowed in 9 innings in his last 2 starts, Ash.
Also, what we've mentioned with Colin is the last 4 times he's gone to the Hill at Minute Maid Park, he's been brilliant, and you'd love him to just continue that love affair with this mound.
Billy Burns leads it off in center field. Brett Lawrie's at second base. Josh Reddick plays right field. The cleanup man is third baseman Danny Valencia, who has feasted on Astros pitching this year. It's Billy Butler at first base. Stephen Vogt returns to the lineup at DH. Jake Smolinski is in left field with Marcus Semien the shortstop and Carson Blair the catcher. Bob Melvin's club 64-85. Won the opener of this series Friday night 4-3. The Astros won last night's game 10-6. Here's Billy Burns. And Burns takes the first pitch. It's ball 1. Switch hitting center fielder at 300 with 4 homers, has 36 runs batted in. Bouncer back to Colin McHugh. The speedy man does not reach base here, leading off the game.
Little defense on the mound from Colin McHugh. Behind him, it'll be Colby Rasmus in left, Jake Marisnick in center, George Springer in right. Left side of the infield, Jed Lowry and Carlos Correa on the right. It's Jose Altuve and Luis Valbuena. Max Stassi gets the start after a very nice game last night.
Now inside, air-conditioned Minute Maid Park, it's Brett Lawrie. Lawrie 1 for 9 this weekend. He takes, and there's strike 1. Mike Machlinski is the home plate umpire. Josh Reddick is on deck. McHugh moves him back. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Colin with a nice quick pace at the outset of the game here. And that cutter moves outside for a 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Don't know if there's any correlation. You mentioned that pace. Compare that to Dallas Keuchel. The 2 guys that work quickly have been the winning pitchers, the big winners on the Astros staff.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, it probably is certainly welcomed by the Astros guys in the field right now after last night's game. 3 hours and 44 minutes. Brett Lawrie has hit .308 his last 26 games. Swings at a breaking pitch and strikes out. Now that would seem to some to be a mistake, a high breaking ball like that, but it worked.
Now look at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. You can see pitches all over the place there. The high breaking ball, the hanger, puts away Brett Lawrie for the second out. Some reason though, Colin McHugh loves pitching here.
Josh Reddick is the batter. He hit a homer Friday night, 275 with 19 long balls, and that one goes foul off the bat of Reddick for strike 1. Reddick 1 for 4 in this series. He's 9 for 31 on this Oakland road trip. This is the 10th and final game of this trip. Oakland 4 and 5 on the trip. In the air, and here is Jose Altuve out of the shift, coming in front of Carlos Correa with his hands on his hips. It's a quick first inning, and the Astros have Altuve, Springer, and Correa coming up against Mr. Brooks of Oakland in just a moment. The Astros starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For A.J. Hinch today, it's Jose Altuve at second base, George Springer in right field, Carlos Correa shortstop, Jed Lowry third base, Colby Rasmus center field, Evan Gattis DH, Luis Valbuena first base, Max Stassi catcher, Jake Marisnick center field.
And on the hill, Aaron Brooks, 25-year-old right-hander, 2-3 for the Oakland A's with a ERA that says it's inviting. 7.68 on the season, 333 opponents batting average against, 6 home runs allowed in limited action. This is where the Astros need to have some fun again with the bats.
Jose Altuve enjoyed last night. He had 3 hits last night, and he continues to be the pace setter in gathering hits in the American League. Ground ball to shortstop in the first pitch. Marcus Semien takes care of it, 1 out.
Today's Key to the Game is brought to you by your Houston area Chevy dealers. Check out what's been going on with the Astros here in September with 2 outs in the 5 wins, almost a .400 batting average, in the losses 235 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Same kind of set of numbers, almost 350 in the 5 wins, 200 in the losses. It is obvious this offense is needed to pick up the W's.
George Springer takes, and it's ball 1 from Aaron Brooks. Springer's on a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .260 with 13 homers, 31 runs batted in, and he's been on base in all 14 games since he came back from the disabled list. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. In fact, going back longer than that, he's been on base 19 games in a row. George 2 for 6 with an RBI in this series.
He's ditched those white shoes, Brownie.
Oh. Bounce foul. Oh, we'll see if the change will help. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Why do you think he ditched him?
I don't know. One day with the white shoes, 10 runs are scored for the team. Maybe he feels an even larger day coming. Oh, imagine just a comfort thing.
Correa has his white shoes. The real key is, what is Julia wearing today? After last night, the boots worked so well. It's 2-2.
I do not have my boots on, but I have them in case of an emergency.
Okay, so are you waiting till the 5th inning or what?
No, I'm trying to make everyone believe this has nothing to do with my boots, so I'm going to stick with my heels.
So I'm curious, what kind of emergency at the ballpark would bring out one's boots?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully we don't get to that point.
3-2 to Springer. And it's ball 4. So Brooks pulls that one outside. Springer draws his 47th walk of the year. That's the 10th walk in 39 innings for Brooks.
Take a look at that defense for the Oakland A's. In the outfield, left to right, Jake Smolinski, Billy Burns, and Josh Reddick. On the left side of the infield, Danny Valencia and Marcus Semien. On the right, it's Brett Lawrie and Billy Butler. Carson Blair once again gets the start behind the plate.
And Mr. Blair's arm may be tested pretty soon. Springer has 15 steals and 19 tries. Carlos Correa is the batter, going with the white shoes again today. Not a big lead for George Springer. Correa takes, and it's ball 1. 275 for Carlos, 18 homers, 53 runs batted in. He leads all major league shortstops in slugging percentage and OPS. He was 2 for 4 last night with a double and a sac fly. Double play depth for Semien and his second base partner, Brett Lawrie. It's 2-0 to Correa. Astros taking some pitches here. Altuve did not. But Brooks, with that 7.68 ERA, has certainly been trying to find a better formula, and it is not working.
Well, here through just a couple of hitters coming to the plate, command just doesn't appear to be there at all. So he paints one as soon as I say that.
2-1. He really did. Brooks was drafted by Kansas City in the 9th round in 2011. Oakland got him in the Ben Zobrist trade this July. He pitched just 2 games in the big leagues last year. This is his 3rd outing against the Astros this season. He has a loss and a no decision. Fouled away by Correa. It's 2-2 to Carlos. In the no decision though at Oakland, Aaron Brooks against Scott Feldman back on the 6th of August pitched very well. 7 innings, 1 run. He left with a 2-1 lead, but the Astros were to win it in the 10th, 5-4. Last time out, September 9th against Colin McHugh in Oakland, he lost 11-5, giving up 5 earned runs in 4 innings. Bouncer left side, and that's a play to the left by Valencia. And a good sliding play. He gets up and takes care of out number 2.
Wow. That was a really tough play on that in-between hop, moving to his left. Valencia makes a gem to get the out. Let's take a look at our Super Mo presented by Mattress Firm as we analyze this play. That is thoroughly outstanding from a guy who's not been known as a defensive player and is turning into a heck of an offensive third baseman.
2 outs, and Jed Lowry, the former Oakland A, is the batter. Springer at second base after the ground out. Lowry looking to drive in the first run of this game. He's driven in 10 against Oakland of his total of 30. Strike to Jed. Lowry is 3 for 8 with 3 runs batted in this weekend. He's on a 3-game hitting streak. 240, 9 homers, 30 driven in. Lowry takes it, and it's 1-1 to Jed. The Astros had a 3-run first last night, and then Oakland tied it with 1 in the second and 2 in the fourth, 3-3, taking a lead of 6-3 with 3 more in the 5th before the Astros started their offense in late inning gear. They got 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 2 in the 8th to win it 10-6. Lowry smacks a line drive to right. And it's caught by Reddick. No runs, no hits, and a man left. No score after 1. This game brought to you by Miller Lite. We checked some work from last night's game. Correa, tremendous catch. Here's Rasmus. Accurate throw. Correa, quick relay on to third. Lowry with the tag on an injured Billy Burns on what could have been a triple. Just outstanding defensive work on both of those 2 throws, and then Lowry hanging in on the tag. So as Correa is back at shortstop for the 2nd inning today, it's Valencia, Butler, and Vogt coming up against Colin McHugh. 0-0 as Valencia, a .421 hitter against Houston, comes to the plate. .291 overall, 16 homers, 60 runs batted in. 16 for 35 this year, 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. He fouls it back. There's strike one to Valencia. He's just hit everything the Astros have thrown up there this season.
And not just pinging it either, driving the baseball. Yeah, he's downright dangerous.
Valencia is almost clipped by that one. It's 1-1. Valencia went 3 for 3 with 2 homers Friday night, 2 for 4 last night, so 5 for 7 in this series. It's 1-2. Big series starting tomorrow night with the Angels, but this game is just as big as tomorrow night's will be. Upstairs, Valencia shoots a look out at the mound. The earlier pitch was close to him, and now he says that's 2 in a row to the umpire, Mike Machlinsky. So he's fired up. 2-2.
That's a dangerous zone right there, and nobody likes that, but little feisty flavor here early on.
And the curveball missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Danny Valencia.
Now the next pitch Danny Valencia takes, that curveball appears to be low where it's caught, but in front of the plate, pretty darn close.
He fouls that one. You know, people have asked us on Twitter recently. They've observed how many times Astros hitters have been hit by pitches. And they wanted to know how that is in comparison to their opponents being hit by pitches. The Astros have been hit 50 times. Their opponents have been hit 37 times, for those who are into numbers. To left field, Kobe Rasmus over toward the line, and that is in for a looping single for Danny Valencia. Everything he hits is falling in against the Astros this year.
Just reaches out, hits it off the end of the bat, and maybe got a break because he hit it off the end of the bat. You're right, Brownie. When you're swinging it red hot, you're just going to pick up hits in fashions that other guys shake their heads at.
First hit of the ball game.
Valencia figures the way he hit it that it's probably not going to be much good, but going up the line, he realizes might have something here.
Billy Butler looks at ball one. Butler has 4 homers and 14 runs batted in the month of September in 17 games. 13 bombs for the season, 62 batted in, and a .230 average against the Astros. 1 for 7 in this series. Bounces into right field. We've seen that happen a few times this weekend with a runner at first, wide open right side of the field, and the A's have taken a few balls not hit all that well into right for singles.
Without question. And when we get a peek at Billy Butler, you're going to see a guy who has just cast everything away and now just fights one to the right side of the infield. I'm waiting for the day where more and more guys are taught to do this when they've got to shift on.
Now Stephen Vogt, he has been out with an injury. He has not played since September 6th against Seattle. DHing. He was catching more early in the season, but later on more DH work for Stephen Vogt. There's ball one to him. Yeah, when he was catching, he took a shot in the worst place possible, and that's why he's been out. 18 homers, 67 runs batted in, a .271 average. Vogt, a very good hitter. It's 2-0.
There's that same fastball getting away from Colin McHugh. We saw it quite a bit last year, little spurts of time. And to me, that's the same fastball that was coming in on Danny Valencia that he got upset about, and maybe rightly so. But that to me is just a sign of Colin kind of losing the feel. Brent
Strom hoping McHugh can find the solution here on a 2-0 count to Vogt, who became an all-star this year for the first time. He's been out with that injured groin for the last couple of weeks now. And certainly his bat is one that Oakland has been missing with what he means to their offense. He's second on the club in homers. He takes, and now it's 3 balls, no strikes, and Max Stassi goes back out.
That looked like possibly a cross-up for Max Stassi. Watch him come up and then go back down. That's the indication that you got crossed up on the pitch, and immediately he comes out to the mound. Now look, Colin McHugh has been with the club all year long, and that wasn't caught well, but when you're crossed up, you generally don't catch it well. That might have been a strike at the front of the plate as well. But Colin's been there all year for the signs. Max probably the one that has to adjust.
In for a strike, and it's 3-1. In McHugh's career, he is 17-9 at Minute Maid Park with a 3.63 ERA. Vogt swings at the slow pitch and is out in front. 3-2 now.
It's really that same location where it's caught. You can see this one a bit below the knees. Pitch number 3 was actually a strike.
Now big 3-2 and nobody out, 2 men on. Vogt tops it foul. Infielders playing Vogt to pull. Smolinski is on deck. The Astros trail Texas by 2.5 games in the AL West. The Rangers are starting later at home against Seattle. They have 2:05 Sunday start times. Curveball gets Vogt on strikes. Strikeout number 2.
Threw a number of that. Very nice curveball in that sequence. Beautifully spotted. And picks up a much needed first out. Not quite 12-6.
Jake Smolinski's the batter. He was 2 for 4 with a double and a homer last night. This one heads for right center field. So does George Springer in position now, making the catch. Here's the tag at second. Valencia going to third. Throw is cut off by Correa. 2 outs, runners at first and third.
Yeah, I've talked recently about some of the throws from the outfield. You've got to make a good strong throw down where it can be cut. That was perfect from George. Yeah, the lead man moves up, but you don't see that backside guy moving up. And George, like Jake Marisnick, has a very good strong throwing arm and accurate.
And George knew he would have the good throwing angle. He wanted to make sure Jake knew that George was going to catch that ball. Marcus Semien bats. Ball 1 to Semien, the young shortstop, who has posted pretty good numbers. 254, 13 homers, 40 runs batted in, and 4 for 7 with a homer against McHugh. On the corner, it goes to a 1-1 count on Semien. Semien's 2 for 7 with a long ball in this series. He went deep last night in the 4th inning off Scott Kazmir. Oakland got 10 hits and 6 runs last night. That's out toward right center. Hit sharply. That will split the gap and drive in at least 1. Valencia's home. Butler to third. He's being sent home by Ron Washington. Throw from Correa. Here's the tag by Stassi, and they get Butler. It's another well-executed defensive play. 1 run scoring on 3 hits in the inning and a man left. 9-6-2 play to end it. 1-0 Athletics. Double by Semien, but the Astros made another good relay from the outfield to the plate.
Very much like last night, coming from the other direction. You've got to give that cutoff man a good throw. And there it is. It sets up another good throw. And in both cases, last night and today, from Carlos Correa, good strong arm. And he's the guy you want to utilize. Get the ball to him accurately and give yourself a chance for the out. And that's a nice chance with Billy Butler chugging it home.
Jake Marisnick made that throw. Colby Rasmus, we thought it was George Springer, but it was Marisnick. Strike one to Rasmus, who has 19 homers, 50 runs batted in. Country Breakfast was steaming around third coming home, and Max Stassi put the tag on him. In tight from Brooks. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Colby had 234 for the season. He's had a big year, though, against Oakland. He's hit 292 here in the month. Line drive, right field corner, hooking. That is off the foul pole for a homer for Rasmus to tie it. A line shot. Number 20 for Colby Rasmus, and it's 1-1.
That's a big one for Colby and for the club to quickly respond, get back in the game. It appeared to me to hit right on that screen that accompanies the ball.
That's the way it looked, Ash. The big thing was to keep it fair. Sometimes those balls hook foul, but that one was hit very hard. Evan Gattis hit a 3-run shot to right field, a difference maker last night. Now he takes a line drive toward the right field corner. Reddick over to play it to hold him to a single, and Gattis is aboard.
That's pretty. And all of a sudden, Evan Gattis is starting to use right field with power.
Luis Valbuena hopes to continue the hitting. Valbuena with 22 homers, 51 runs batted in, has a .210 batting average. He drove in a run with a single last night. Bounces this one. Butler will go to second. Semien back to the pitcher covering for a double play. 3-6-1.
Back on that home run by Colby Rasmus, the line shot. He gets the breaking ball down and in. A lot of people will say that's exactly where left-hand hitters like it. Watch where it hits. Right on that screen with the foul pole. Just hooking into the corner. And as soon as it hits anything that comes along with that foul pole, it's a home run. Makes it a rather easy call for the umpires. You can see how much that ball hooked.
That's the fourth 20 home run season for Colby Rasmus in the big leagues. Max Stassi hit his first major league homer last night. In for strike one to Stassi. He is 3 for 9 with the Astros. 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. Jason Castro started the game last night. Stassi came off the bench to get his homer.
As impressive as the home run by Gattis was last night going to right field, Stassi topped him. I mean, it looked like a big-time power guy going that way.
Yeah, very good. Oppo power for Max. He foul tips that one, and it's 1-2. Max came up through the Oakland organization, a 4th-round pick in '09 from Woodland, California. Grew up a fan of the Oakland A's. Marisnick is on deck. Brooks throws, and that one misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Angels and Twins are scoreless. They're in the top of the 2nd inning in Minnesota. Angels will be here for the next 3 days. Night games Monday and Tuesday, a day game Wednesday. Tyler Duffy's pitching for the Twins today. Matt Shoemaker for the Angels. Stassi struck out, and The Rasmus home run ties the game. 1 run, 2 hits. Number 20 for Colby makes it 1-1 after 2.
This Ace team a few times this year, but this is the first time he's faced the A's right here at Minute Maid Park since last April, his second start with the Astros ever. This was following a great start he had making his debut at Seattle. Comes out, goes 8 2/3, just 1 out shy of his first complete game shutout, struck out 7 A's at the time, and the A's were hot at that point of the season. Colin, we were just getting to know him at the time, parents there watching. It was a great moment for him. The teammates were getting to know him. We didn't know a lot about what he was going to bring to the Astros either, because he wasn't supposed to stay up that long, if you guys remember, kind of making a spot start at the time. But of course, we watched him evolve over the last year and this year. And he's had to make adjustments at this level, and he was really looking forward to the opportunity to get back out here today and help his team in big wins. How far he has come for the Houston Astros, guys.
Thanks, Julia. Strike 1 to Carson Blair, and it's a 1-1 count to the young catcher. Blair is 25 years old from Argyle, Texas. 3 for 20 so far in the big leagues. He came up September 1st from the minors. Fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carson Blair. Speaking of the minors, the Astros have a big game coming up. PCL championship game this afternoon starting at 3:05 Central Time. Mark Appel going for the AAA Fresno Grizzlies against Round Rock. Winner take all, game 5 of the PCL championship. 2-2. That'll be Appel's first start in this playoff series. That's fouled away, and the fact that that's the final game of the season for Fresno means a couple of things. Their manager, Tony DeFrancesco, who has for a time managed the Astros, will be joining the big league club at some point, getting in a little major league time, as Rodney Linares, the AA skipper from Corpus Christi, has done earlier last week. Strikeout on a curveball. It's number 3 for Colin McHugh, and also perhaps a couple more players could be called up by the Astros after this game today. John Singleton could be on his way soon. 2 runs batted in and a 2-1 win last night to tie that series at 2. And Mark Appel, starting today, is 5-2 with a 4.48 at AAA after being moved up from AA. There probably will be another pitcher promoted in addition to John Singleton after that game. In tight to Billy Burns, ball 1. Not sure which pitcher that will be. We'll be finding out soon.
Sounds like Mark Appel might have a chance to say who that pitcher might be.
Well, never know. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dan Straley pitched a really good game earlier in that playoff series, 6 2/3 perfect innings, and he was with the Astros earlier this year. He's a possibility. Brett Overholzer's been here. 1 hopper to Lowry. Taking care of out number 2. So there are a few choices for the Astros to join their staff. There's that section right down below us. Having a great time. Brett Lawrie struck out in the first inning. Listed to left, and Colby Rasmus comes over near the line. On the fly ball, he takes it in for out number 3. It's 1-1 in the 3rd.
Astros Fresh City yard signs are still available at select Academy Sports and Outdoor stores, but they are going fast. Visit www.rootsports.com/yard signs for a list of participating locations before they run out. Tweet us pictures if you've got them, because we'd like to see them. We will show some today or tomorrow.
Did you have time to get yours yet, Julia?
I have not yet. I've been doing laundry.
All right, I know, but you stopped by the office the other day, right? Were they all gone at the office?
I did. I don't know.
We had a bunch of them while you guys were on the road.
Well, you guys took them all.
Well, yeah, we did.
I'm going to have to head to Academy.
All right, you blew our cover. Here's Jake Marisnick, bottom of the 3rd. Bunting and pushing it foul. Billy Butler couldn't get there in time to pick it up fair and make the tag, so Marisnick comes back to strike 1 on him. But we did, and they're very nice, so Julia can get hers and join the club. It's a growing club. We've been seeing those pictures for the last couple of weeks now. Twins got a home run, Ash, from Torrey Hunter in the 2nd inning off Matt Shoemaker, and they lead the Angels 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. That's his 21st of the year.
We're big Twins fans today.
Yeah, we are. 0-2 because the Twins are behind the Angels in the wild card race. The Astros are holding down the 2nd wild card spot at the moment, and they're a game and a half in front of the Angels and 2.5 in front of the Twins. 1-2. So Astros fans are hoping that the Twins can tag the Angels with their 73rd loss. The Twins have 73 losses. The Astros have 71. Ground ball. Valencia can't make the play this time. He left his feet, and it trickled out of his glove over towards shortstop. So Marisnick will now have a 6-game hitting streak.
And Jake's playing well, playing with enthusiasm. You can tell he's having a good time finding that stroke back. And when Jake's on base, that running game is usually not far away. So Danny Valencia doesn't turn into Brooks again here.
Couldn't quite hold it. Hit number 3 for the Astros. That's how many the Oakland A's have. Jose Altuve grounded out his first time up. The throw goes over. Marisnick, with 20 steals in 27 tries, is a threat to go. And Altuve likes to take advantage sometimes of that base runner on the move. If the middle infielder goes to the bag to cover, he can exploit that hole in the infield. George Springer's on deck. Altuve cranks this one and foul. Strike to Jose. A.J. Hinch said players got a little swagger back on some of those Jake Marisnick hits. And Jake has been known for broken bats here and there. And balls hit on the infield that aren't turned into playable balls for those infielders. So Jake's known for that kind of hit, right?
Jake's got a personality a little like George Springer, and I think it brings a lot of guys with him.
That's what he said. He said George said after one of Jake's hits last night, he got a broken bat hit last night, right? And George said, we're back after Jake got that hit. 1-1. So it seems to be a rallying point.
It never hurts to have this guy hot.
Oh, not at all. But you can relate, Ash, from your playing days and what the Astros have gone through. Sure, they took a beating from the Rangers. The first 2 games were close, and then they got clobbered the 3rd and 4th games. But they did hit some balls hard. And, the whole team, I think, was kind of looking at those line drive outs thinking, boy, it's not our day sometimes.
A number of balls hard. And in game 1 of the series, that ball into right center field by Carlos Correa that could have flipped the game around and could have changed the outcome.
Yes.
If not for the great play by Fuld.
Sam Fuld, what an incredible catch in right center field Friday night off Correa. And then Correa had another line out in that game. He just couldn't buy a hit. He lined out, in fact, twice, once to short and once to right field after the Fuld catch. Ground ball wide of third base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're going to take another look at Sam Fuld flying through the air on Carlos Correa's.
This is where defense can win ball games. That play right there changed the complexion of the game in a heartbeat. But if that ball's not caught, it goes past. It's at least a double. It's at least 1 run, likely 2 on that play, and possibly leading to more. And that was the difference the Astros needed at that moment.
He was off the ground longer than the Wright brothers.
Which was what, like 18, not even 18 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. Foul tip strikeout, and that is strikeout number 2 for Brooks. Crush City signs are sprouting up. They're growing in yards everywhere. Right there with the potted plants, there's the Crush City sign.
Yeah, those are true fans right there.
Julia is very jealous, and hopefully she'll get her soon. Once she gets her laundry done, that's next on the list.
You guys are just rubbing the signs in my face.
Yeah, we are.
I have to go get one.
Rub them on your dirty clothes and make you do some work.
George Springer takes strike 1. He walked earlier. Julia's had a very busy week, not only coming back from a long road trip, trying to get everything all tidy again, but also spending time at the office, working on bases loaded, doing games. Got a lot going on. Pretty close play there on Marisnick diving back into first.
See that cluster of pitches on George Springer back in the first inning when he came to the plate, and that was at a time where it looked like, I thought anyway, Aaron Brooks just didn't have a feel for the strike zone. As soon as I made the comment, he started finding it, and now it's time for bats to find the ball.
Runner going. Here's the throw from Blair. Safe. Marisnick gets his 21st steal. Blair put it over second base. It was a little high, though, and Marisnick got in.
That's good release. It's just a bit of a high throw is all. Otherwise, I'm afraid Jake's going to get nailed there. As I said, that running game's not far behind once he's on base. You know, if Brett Laurie had maintained a tag throughout and he did not, he might have gotten himself an out.
Might have. Now it's 0-2 to George Springer. Nice to have a number 9 hitter like Marisnick who could steal a base. Generate a rally from the bottom of the order. And many American League managers look at that when they make out their lineups and look at the number 9 hitter as a kind of a second leadoff man. Still 0-2 to Springer. The Astros continue to lead the American League in steals. That was number 110 for them. And Marisnick continues to lead in dirt. He's a dirt devil, isn't he? Those head first dives. Lays out in the outfield.
Clubhouse guys are already moaning.
Greg Biggio's back.
You had him up in the booth today.
Yes.
Come to say hi to you.
Nice of Craig and Enos to stop by. Enos Cabell, Jeff Luhnow. Big contingent here for this game.
You allow us to wish you a happy birthday here on the air.
Very nice of you. But in baseball, birthdays can only be truly enjoyed with a win, right?
Well, let's do that. Let's make it all right today.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Final game of the season between the Astros and the A's, and the determining game in who wins the season series. It's tied at 9, and it's tied 4-4 in this ballpark for the year. Valencia to his left, throwing to first in time to get Springer. The runner taking third base on out number 2. That might be looking like Julia's house.
That's my landscaping, all right.
Okay, that's
I
your
did
house.
that too. What is this?
Well,
They have a wreath?
yeah, it's a wreath. It's a different arrangement.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
That could be you.
No, I have lots of work to do.
Yeah, you do. Carlos Correa grounded out to Valencia in the first inning. Correa takes, and it's strike 1 to Carlos.
Well, at first blush, it looked like there might have been a tag opportunity there at third base for Danny Valencia, but he chose in the end to fire to first.
Yeah, he glanced at Marisnick going by, and he hesitated a little bit. It looked as if that was going through his mind. There's the block by Blair. 1-1. Marisnick was able to sneak into third base there, and if there is, for instance, a wild pitch, he can now score. That's not necessarily a given, though, in this ballpark. Correa is hitting .400, 2 outs, and runners in scoring position this season, 4th in the American League. That ball sometimes can carry him right back to the catcher after it hits that wall behind him. 2-1. Not a lot of distance behind home plate. Or the ball may be deadened by that sign behind the plate, so it may just stop right at that point instead of caroming back. Outside again, it's 3-1. But the base runner would have to give it a shot, especially a guy like Marisnick. He's got to be ready to take off when that ball gets by the catcher. almost did, but it's ball 4 in the dirt, and Correa takes his 35th walk. That's the second walk for Brooks. Now Jed Lowry bats. It's all written down right there. As a fan is in the game, Ash.
We used to do that as fans way back when. I don't know how many do that anymore, but that probably indicates the serious fan.
Well, do they bring they don't bring a laptop. Do they bring an iPad? Maybe there's software on an iPad to keep score?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that program on the laptop, whatever it may be, that enables you to input the way we do, make it all happen. So
okay.
You guys out there that design them, make that happen.
You're waiting for Godot then.
Godot?
Lowry hit a line drive to right field earlier. He fouls it back, strike one. I don't know in our lifetime if that software would be developed. Ash, remember about 20 years ago we thought, oh, by next year they'll have software on computers for keeping score.
Well, they do actually. It just depends to what level you're asking.
Right, but not, as you said, the way you do.
And how much time it takes to input.
Right. Well, then we need to write special Alan Ashby software for scoring.
There you go. Well, you've got these touch screens now, and there should be a way to make that happen rather simply, but rather simply doesn't mean rather inexpensively.
True. 1-1 to Lowry. Everything has a price. Will be Rasmus on deck. Way outside, 2-1. The line scores for these two teams are identical, 1-3-0 with one man left. And Brooks, with 7 starts and 3 relief appearances this year, was trying to hang into a game, and he's had a hard time doing that. He actually went 6 innings in his last start 5 days ago against the White Sox on the road. Gave up 10 hits and 6 runs, and he got a win. 17-6, Oakland won that game.
Therefore, the 1-loss record is the great indicator as to how well a guy pitched, right?
Yes. And then when the Astros were in town in Oakland September 9th, as we mentioned, he gave up 5 earned runs in 4 innings. He lost that one to Colin McHugh, 11-5. Lost his previous start to Seattle, 11-8, giving up 6 earned runs in 2 1/3. 3-2 now to Lowry. And Correa, the runner at first, will be setting sail for second on the next pitch. So Brooks against the Astros is 0-1 with a 4.91 ERA. This is his first appearance at Minute Maid Park in his career. Correa leaves. There's a bouncer out towards Semion's right. Semien throwing on to first. Gets the 3rd out. No runs a hit. 2 men stranded. After 3, it's 1-1.
At Astro, and it's brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Make sure to tweet us your best guess here. Here's your clues. He got a major league tryout thanks to his mom's letter. Interesting. He's one of the all-time toughest to strike out, and Joe Morgan idolized him. You guys know this one?
Yes.
And yes.
We cannot
Nice
answer.
work.
Well, it goes way back, Julia. Before you were even born, in fact, Julia. There is ball one to Josh Reddick here in the 4th inning. But very good question. This will tax the abilities of many Astros fans to come up with the answer. 1 ball and 1 strike for Colin McHugh in a 1-1 game to Josh Reddick, who popped a second earlier.
That sounded like a clue, Brownie. I think we're all looking for the tax man now.
No, it wasn't meant to be a clue, and I can't think of any connection for the tax man and this player. Although he did presumably pay his taxes. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That would be a good assumption.
Does Orbit pay taxes?
I don't know.
Bad swing from Reddick. He's down on strikes. He was totally fooled on that pitch. Strikeout number 4.
And curveball induces some bad hacks.
Doesn't it, though?
And this guy's a dangerous hitter, so you don't mind getting that kind of swing from him.
How does a pitcher feel when he sees that?
Imagine there's well, there are all kinds of levels of euphoria for pitchers, I think, but once you start knowing you can throw that pitch, just, I think, pure satisfaction.
Strike to Danny Valencia. Valencia singled to left. Looping fly ball hit just inside the line. It's 1-1 for Colin McHugh. Colin is 3-1 in 4 career starts against Oakland with a 3.16 ERA. 2 balls and a strike. And coming into this season, it appeared that Scott Feldman, Colin McHugh, Dallas Keuchel would all be key ingredients to this pitching staff. But it's been fun to watch the season evolve with the rotation. 3 balls and a strike.
That pitch was a little bit telling. Watching Danny Valencia eventually just kind of back away as if he thought that pitch was up and in. It was up.
Bouncer McHugh. Well, we have a story here. Valencia made it out.
Man, do you ever have a story? Get your running shoes on and join us for the Badges and Bases 5K and 10K run at Minute Maid Park on Saturday, October 3rd. Kids 12 and under can enter the Kids Fun Run, and all participants will receive a commemorative T-shirt. For more information, visit astros.com/run.
Billy Butler takes a slow curve. They strike 1 to Butler. Butler hit a ground ball single into right field. Valencia was on first. Valbuena was holding him on, and Butler just found that big opening for his hit. It's 1-1. The Oakland A's have an all-time record against Houston of 40-22. 645 winning percentage. That's the best going one team against another. Foul tip, and it's 1-2. And they are a team playing very loose right now. Spoilers. Line and caught by Lowry. A hard hit ball, out number 3. 1-1 going to the bottom of the 4th.
Gaddis afafter his bobblehead night, which turned out to be a great night for him at the plate. 2 for 3 with the game-winning 3-run shot. The one that went opposite field to put the Astros on top. Of course, they stayed on top there, but huge for Gaddis. We'll see him coming up this inning. A team guy, y'all, and we talked after the game about how he had a mishap in the first inning, trying to tag up on a shallow pop-up there, base running error, and he admitted to it. He said, I am so glad I was able to make up for it later in the game. He came up huge for the Astros, Brownie.
Boy, didn't he ever, though. He's on deck with Colby Rasmus leading it off. Rasmus homered. A line drive off the right field foul pole back in the second inning to tie this game. There's ball 1. Right off the Chick-fil-A foul pole, in fact. Off-speed pitch, and that's a good one for Brooks. 1 ball and 1 strike. Julia, have you ever watched Bill Raftery do college basketball on TV?
I have.
We should have had him here last night. You know why, don't you? You're laughing. You know why.
Yes.
And the kiss.
Yes.
Inside. 2-1.
How happy was she?
Yeah.
What a great fan.
Is she here today? Have you seen her?
I hope so.
Yeah. She might be a part of this team's karma now.
She's going to travel with them.
Yeah. Making plans to go to Seattle next Sunday. 2 balls, 2 strikes for that final road trip of the year.
I want to know how Julia got to her so quickly after our little piece. Was she stalking that lady?
She just she knows what's happening everywhere.
I'm quick.
Does.
Yeah.
In my boots, I was quick.
That's
Yeah,
right.
boots.
Your cleated boots. Never losing a step.
Strike 3 call. That's number 3 for Brooks.
Evan Gaddis having quite a year this year. You can see the numbers the last couple of years. Starting in 2013, 21 home runs, increased by 1 to last year, and now 25 this year, and would love to add much more. But the RBI is way up with each one of those seasons. Obviously playing more this year, and he's liking it more.
He singled to right in the second inning. Comes outside for ball 1. Julio Teheran of Atlanta was perfect through 6 and had a 1-0 lead over the Phillies. Phillies now batting top of the 7th inning. Ground ball. Valencia backs up on it. Throws him out. 2 outs.
See, that's how you do it, Brownie.
Oh.
And you have to have your pen that functions with your tablet. And
okay.
it's all about touchscreen, but yeah, it's got to be quick and thorough, I guess. What else would you add?
Game changer, L score, and can't remember the third one we had on the screen there. So those are some programs. Score free is the third one. Some programs people can get for scorekeeping on a computer.
Now, some of them are kind of based on for high school games, that sort of thing.
So you evidently have checked all these out by now.
I have in recent years. Not actually, probably not this year.
Albuena bounced into a double play earlier. 1 ball, 1 strike. But your earlier comment is the key. Everybody's a little different in keeping score.
Well, you can adjust, or at least I'll speak for myself. I could adjust as long as I can make it happen quickly and not lose touch with what's going on the field. And I think that's the key for all of us.
Okay. Is that what that song was all about? Country boys can survive?
Ooh. Now, Colby Rasmus could answer that for you. So you've come to the wrong man.
Another changeup, this time outside. And it's 3-1. So Brooks is working in that change of speeds now, and he's looking like a whole lot better pitcher than a 7.68 ERA pitcher.
Yes, he is. Josh Fields might serve you well.
Yeah, he's a country guy.
Josh,
all the way through.
Josh Fields and string.
Oh, that's good. Seattle did not score in the top of the first at Texas. The Oakland A's will be entertaining Texas in the next series. Bouncer and Butler. Tosses to Brooks. 1-2-3 in the fourth inning. It's tied 1-1. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Texas Bay Credit Union. Texas Bay Credit Union is the official credit union of the Houston Astros. Join today. Hot day outside. Nice to have air conditioning here in September. It's a 1-1 game. Moving to the fifth inning for Colin McHugh against Vogt, Smolinski, and Semien. Here in the Oakland fifth inning. Stephen Vogt struck out in the second.
Here we go.
Stephen said after the game last night what he's been through the last couple of weeks has not been a piece of cake. Tough injury. There's strike one.
Now apparently he took the extreme version of pain behind the plate.
Yeah. Out to left center field. Colby Rasmus cuts over and reaches down for the catch. That gives the Astros excellent left field coverage.
This is actually one of the extreme versions of pain in baseball when you think you might have the hit and then it's taken away.
Yeah. Because Colby does have excellent range. A center fielder playing left. Now with one out, it's Smolinski. Jake with a fly ball to right field in the second inning, 0 for 1. Ball one for Colin McHugh. It's foul back. This is quite a week coming up for the Astros with the Angels and Rangers coming in. Tomorrow night, Dallas Keuchel faces Jared Weaver. That's a 7:10 start with the Angels starting a 3-game series. Tuesday night, it's Lance McCullers and Hector Santiago. Foul back. 1-2 now, and Wednesday's a day game at 1:10. Mike Fiers is pitching for Houston. The Angels have not yet announced their starter for that game. They have now. It's Nick Tropiano, as you can see on your screen. A lot at stake for the Angels and Astros the next 3 days here.
Becomes rather meaningful, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Horisnik moving in center field. Gobbles that one up. 2 outs. After last Sunday, when the Astros had that tremendous come from behind win, against the Angels. And was that last Sunday? Or 2 Sundays ago?
Yeah, that was last Sunday.
Last Sunday.
Yep.
And they got 5 in the 9th inning, and it seemed to many probably, well, the Angels are dead. Not really. They have regrouped very well.
Well, here's the other thing. I think a lot of people think, well, that's a momentum builder. Well, the Astros went into Arlington and had anything but momentum on their side.
True. Marcus Semien with strike 1 had the RBI double to right center in the 2nd inning. Well, the Astros at that point went into Texas with a 77-66 record after beating the Angels with that 5-run ninth last Sunday 5-3. And the Angels were 4.5 behind Houston. And now the Angels are 1.5 behind Houston. A pretty big week. And that can certainly happen in divisional play. 2 balls and a strike with these teams playing each other. So this is going to be a great time for baseball fans with these 3 top teams in the AL West all meeting in the coming week. 3 balls and a strike. The Astros have really struggled to beat the Texas Rangers this year. 4-12. That's a walk to Semien with 2 outs. First walk of the day for Colin McHugh.
Keuchel's Corner is a dedicated section for fans to show their support for our Cy Young candidate every time he takes to the mound. You get a ticket, beard, and a Keuchel's Corner Go Beard or Go Home t-shirt for tomorrow's game versus the Angels. For more information, visit Astros.com/Keuchel's Corner, or you can call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
There you have the playoff picture. Rangers 2.5 ahead of the Astros, 4 ahead of the Angels. And it's all coming to you at Minute Maid Park this week. Semien draws a throw. Dallas shoots for win number 18 tomorrow night. Jared Weaver is 7-11 with a 4.74 ERA, but not against Houston. Strike to Blair. Weaver has been otherworldly against the Astros this year. One ball and 1 strike. Colin McHugh back in July put together a 4-start winning streak at home, beating Texas, Boston, the Angels, and Arizona in 4 consecutive games here at Minute Maid Park. He lost a 1-0 game to Tampa Bay here in August. Valbuena heads for the stands, and this foul ball is back about 9 or 10 rows. 1-2 the count. Keuchel's Corner tomorrow night should energize the building. And the folks who have followed Dallas, as some of those who had some time off to make that drive up I-45 to Arlington, were there for his last start. That didn't go well. 2 balls, 2 strikes, but he has been superb here at home. Unbelievable at home this year. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes. McHugh didn't throw that curveball the way he was earlier today. Now the runner will be moving on the next pitch to Blair. Boston leads at Toronto. It's 4-3 in the top of the 8th inning for the Red Sox. Kansas City is in front of Detroit by 5. 8-3 in the top of the 6th at Detroit. Runner going, and it's in the air Valbuena coming over in front of the Astros bench. They grab the foul pop, and in the top of the 5th inning, no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. It's 1-1.
Postseason run by reserving your 2016 season tickets today. Visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Max Stassi leading things off here in the 5th. He entered the game last night in the 7th to catch for Castro, and in his one at bat, he made the best of it. An opposite field home run for his very first major league home run of his career. He got the ball back. He had to hand over an autographed ball in order to get that back from the fans, but a guy that is trying to do whatever he can in opportunities that he gets. Doesn't get very many, especially with Castro back in there. But Ash, I know you were impressed with his pop last night, weren't you?
I was. With the bat, I mean, that surprised me. Maybe not as much as...
There's a line drive hit to left field. Sliding Smolinski gets it back in on the single.
Maybe not as much as the fact that he had such an off year with the bat in the minor leagues this year. That surprised me. But his catching skills on top of that look top-notch. And you watch him take a pitch that you'd like to say, I've got to handle this pitch. And he handles it and hangs out a line drive. If he can get some opportunities as he is right now and play well, I think a lot of people might say, well, let's wash away that minor league season and take another solid look here.
Jake Marisnick got an infield hit to third in the 3rd inning. Valencia's in tight. Marisnick puts it in the air to shallow right field. Red Laurie angling back for it, giving way now to Reddick. 1 out. And Altuve follows. Altuve's 0 for 2 in this game. The ground out and a strikeout. King Felix Hernandez is pitching for Seattle at Texas. It's 0-0 after 1.5 now in Arlington. The Astros 5-12 in the month of September, trying to tuck away another series win at home where they're 49-25. They have the best home winning percentage in the American League right now. Altuve fouls it away. There's strike 1. Indians are trying to get back to 500. They are shutting out the White Sox 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. If they had started this run of theirs sooner, they would definitely be more of a factor in the wild card race. Springer's on deck. Altuve takes. It's 1-1 to Jose. Josh Tomlin started for Cleveland today. He's gone after 5 2/3 shutout innings. Lonnie Chisenhall hit his 7th home run. He is now a right fielder for the Tribe. Converted from third base.
They've come up with quite the young shortstop in Francisco Lindor.
He is really top-notch. He and Carlos Correa could be rivals for best shortstop around for a while to come. But now that Troy Tulowitzki's in the American League, they have plenty of veteran competition. For Tulo, it's a matter of staying healthy, which he's not right now. Well, pretty soon the writers, the Baseball Writers Association of America voters will have to strongly consider their most valuable player candidates. Is it Josh Donaldson for you in the American League?
I think it's pretty darn close to a shoe-in right now for Josh Donaldson. The Blue Jays look like the team to beat right now, and this guy has been leading them in so much. Right there in home runs, close in batting average, RBIs first, extra base hits, playing a very good third base, and seems to be that guy that generates more enthusiasm maybe than the rest.
Now, after the conference, it's a 1-1 pitch coming to Altuve. It's 2-1.
I don't think it's hurt Donaldson at all to hit in front of Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion. But that's not to take anything away.
Rich Hill is going for Boston today against Toronto. Mark Burley out of the game after 6 innings, allowing 3 earned runs. Runner takes off. There's a ball hit close to the plate. It's foul. Stassi was off on the pitch, and it's now 2-2.
Often wondered about this little area right in there. There's no chalk from either baseline coming all the way to the plate, and therefore you have to kind of take an educated guess.
True. As Gertrude Stein said about Oakland, there is no there. 3-2. So is it fair? Is it foul? Well, there's no line.
That's right.
Twins lead the Angels 4-0 there in the bottom of the 4th inning. Corey Hunter had homered earlier, his 21st. Now Eddie Rosario hit his 11th. And Matt Shoemaker's gone after 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 6 hits and 4 runs against Tyler Duffy, who's pitched very well. Runner going, Altuve fouls it away again.
We've seen Altuve pulling a lot of the hits that he's had, using center field some, but this at bat he's actually taken at least a couple of swings toward right field.
He knows that runner's on the move. That's a way to get a runner from first to third, put him in motion. If he's not a fast runner, he should still be able to get there in many cases on a single to the outfield. 3-2. Stassi goes. Bouncer left side. Valencia with the throw to nip Altuve. 2 outs. Stassi to second. In the National League, the MVP race a little more muddled. Who's your favorite here?
Well, Bryce Harper's my favorite, although I've loved what Nolan Arenado's done all season long. Paul Goldschmidt really had it going on and might have been the favorite there up until maybe 6-8 weeks ago. Zach Greinke has had a spectacular year, but he's being hard-pressed for the Cy Young Award by Jake Arrieta, although I think Greinke will pull it out in the end. But that's a good bunch right there.
George Springer has walked and grounded to third today. Ball 1 to George. We've seen a lot of pitches to him right there in that area. Texas got a homer from Mitch Moreland in the second off Felix Hernandez, his 22nd of the year, to take a 1-0 lead after 2. Derek Holland is pitching for the Rangers. In for a strike, 1-1. We saw the probables for the Rangers in their upcoming series at Oakland. They have a day off tomorrow, so starting Tuesday night, it's Sean Nolan for Oakland, Martin Perez for Texas. Wednesday night, Felix Dubron and Colby Lewis. Thursday, Giovanni Gallardo for Texas. Oakland's to be announced. Tap foul, 1-2. So Cole Hamels not listed to pitch in that series, which means that he probably will be going against the Astros come Friday night.
Yeah, mixed reports on that one. What does Julia have on that one?
I have read that Jeff Bannister has announced Cole Hamels for Friday today.
That makes sense. There had been some thought that he might not pitch in this series here next weekend, but apparently he will be the guy Friday night. Two balls, 2 strikes. Evan Gattis said something interesting to Julia after the game last night. The Astros were in first place for months, and he said, well, now that we've slipped out of first, maybe it's going to be a little bit different for us. They're the hunted team now. The Rangers are being hunted, and we're going after them. Line shot left field, headed for the seats. George Springer, 2-run homer, number 14. 3-1 Houston.
Well, is that nice to see? That has been a while in coming. And I've said it a number of times. George Springer is a difference maker for me. And when he's on his game and performing with the power display like he had for a period of time last year, he turns this team into a very different looking club for the better.
It's been a while for George Springer. Of course, he was out for a couple of months with the injury, but 59 at-bats since his last homer, June 30th, against Kansas City's Danny Duffy. And a big one here to make it 3-1. Now Correa. He takes ball 1. Springer now with 14 homers, 33 runs batted in. The Astros have now hit 203 long balls. 2-0. Getting close to making this their second best home run season in club history. They're second in the majors in homers, only to Toronto. Out to center field. Burns still going back to the warning track. A long drive by Correa. And in the 5th inning, it's George Springer with another key 2-out, 2-strike hit. It's a 2-run homer, making it 3-1 Houston after 5.
Springer. And the Astros will face off against their in-state rivals, the Rangers, in the Lone Star Series presented by Montejo this Friday through Sunday. On Sunday, 10,000 fans will receive an Astros team poster at Fan Appreciation Day. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Cole Hamels on the mound Friday night for the Rangers, guys.
Lots of excitement coming this week to Minute Maid Park. Hey, Julia, we also got a Twitter notice for you from Alan Blomgren. Get your boots on, Julia. Emergency in fifth.
George Springer came through for me. Crisis averted there.
That is strike one to Billy Burns.
That's kind of in response to my question, I guess, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I think she had him on, though. She just won't let on. I think she takes him off and on for certain hitters, don't you?
I used to do that as a kid. Didn't you have that guy that would come to the plate and you had some pose, some kind of way you had to sit or whatever it was? Yeah. It was Tommy Davis for me.
Tommy Davis. Batting champion. In for a strike, 1 and 2.
156 or some odd RBIs one year.
Yeah, he was in 150s. And Bob Watson, who, as you know, was an outstanding hitter, really tried to learn all he could from Tommy Davis about right-handed hitters hitting the ball to right center field.
Yep.
Fouled away. He just had a tremendous talent for that.
I think he would have been a much more well-known, much better player had he not had that unfortunate snapping of the ankle with a slide at one point. But boy, he was putting up some numbers there for a while.
Big time numbers.
And it was all because of the way I was sitting when he'd come to the plate.
Oh. That was shot, and what a play by Valbuena, robbing Burns. He laid out for that one for out number 1.
You know what? He is a leather master, and he can really throw from third base to go with it. But quick feet enable him to get up and sprint to the bag, and that aggressive nature to go with it. Watch this play. Some guys will lay out and then anticipate, well, I need my pitcher to come and make the play. Valbuena just says, this is mine, and I've got it right now.
Sharp play. Red Laurie fouls it for strike 1. He's 0 for 2.
And you see, he actually turns back to the plate, so he's not looking for help. I've got it. Just stay away. Get out of my vicinity, my working space.
Get off of my cloud.
You and the Stones, you guys used to hang together, right?
Yeah. Bouncer McHugh. 2 outs. Josh Reddick will be next. The A's have won 6 of their last 8 from the Astros. Reddick popped to second and struck out. The Astros 32 and 34 against the clubs in the American League West. There is strike 1. Kind of amazing to some people probably that they are as much in the race as they are with a record like that. But Texas is 30 and 35 against the AL West. The Angels are 35 and 28, and yet they're 4 games behind Texas and a game and a half behind Houston. 1-1. So people always say, well, you have to do well within your division. Not really.
Yeah, there you go. And that's, your comment is true about a lot of the isms in this sport and probably in life for that matter. But some of the things we generally believe to be true are not necessarily true.
Rolled out to second. Altuve. Over to Valbuena. 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. Oakland has not had a hit since the 2nd. It's 3-1 Houston.
This moment in history is brought to you by M.D. Anderson. So, J.R. Toles sets an Astros record with 8 RBIs in one game. My goodness, going 4 for 4 in an 18-1 thrashing of the Cardinals. J.R. Toles. You knew that was coming today, right?
Well, it did bring back some good memories. 18-1 thrashing of the Cardinals. Was there any other Houston 18-1 thrashing of the Cardinals? Well, 8 runs batted in for J.R. Toles. An immemorable day in 07. Now it's 3-1. The Astros lead it. Jed Lowry leading it off in the home 6th inning. He's 0 for 2. Lowry lays out for it from right field. He can't get the throw off, and it's backed up by the catcher, Blair, on the hit by Lowry. Is that an infield hit? He hit it into right field, and the infielder stopped it. It's not an infield hit, is it?
It's an unfair question, Brownie.
We have to redefine all these terms with the shifts.
That's the midfielder hit.
Okay.
Yeah. If Lowry gets rid of this ball right away, he probably is able to rob Lowry.
True. And he just did not have a grip on the baseball for that throw.
That is an energetic sword out there.
Colby Rasmus ripped a homer in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2. Well, back for strike 1. Yeah, he looks like a guy who just drank a 2-gallon jug of 5-hour energy.
They brought him up to the big leagues in Toronto, 3-4 years back, and he was a sensation to begin with, but his energy it actually needed for the folks to build a double-sized dugout for those guys. It was just pinging off the walls.
Rasmus takes, and it's 1-1. Showing bunt, and that brought in Valencia, or Semien rather. Oakland shift moves the third baseman over onto the first base side. So that's Semien on the left side. Royals lead the Tigers 9-3, bottom of the 7th inning. Line to right. Reddick in for the catch. 1 out. Evan Gattis to follow. He's 1 for 2.
The more I watch the Oakland A's, the more I realize what an outstanding right fielder Josh Reddick is. Dangerous hitter, but he'll give it to you just consistently in right field.
R.J. Alvarez is warming up the bullpen for Oakland. Valbuena on deck with Gattis batting. It's ball 1 to Gattis. Now, we were checking on some numbers before the game today. You checked last year's Cardinals. There you see R.J. Alvarez. Just looking at the fact that Gattis, with 83 runs batted in, leads the Astros. Their second best RBI man is Altuve with 59. Seems pretty low for a club that, as of now, would be a playoff team.
Especially when you consider there are really just 2 guys in that kind of range of numbers.
So peeling back the layers of this Astros team, how many players have been in the lineup every day? It's a different kind of a club. Gattis has been. Altuve has been. And then, there have been injuries. Springer was, but he was out for 2 months. Lowry was, but he was out for 2 months. Correa didn't come up until June. Since then, he's been an everyday player.
Well, you could say to some extent, Marwin, Hank Conger, and Colby Rasmus have kind of been in that boat of playing a load of games.
They have. They've played a lot of games. Gattis takes strike 3, 2 outs.
Jake Marisnick.
Yeah. 4th strikeout. But we're talking about 500 at-bat guys, right?
Yeah, now that really pares it down.
And Altuve's had 581 at-bats coming into this game today. Valbuena, who's coming up. Valbuena has had 411 at-bats right now, but there are a lot of Astros who have not hit 400 at-bats for the season, and yet you would think of them as people who have contributed quite a bit to this team.
And those 411 at-bats you mentioned for Valbuena, third most on the club.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been quite a job by A.J. Hinch. How about that?
That's exactly right. The way he has maneuvered different players in and out of the lineup and put it all together has been quite impressive. Maybe manager of the year impressive. We'll let the voters decide that.
You know, and all fans are not going to be pleased all the time. They see flaws in their estimation of certain players and why are you using this guy, but it's kind of like that chessboard. You've only got a certain number of chess pieces and you've got to use ones here and there, and you can't question it because you don't see any other alternatives. That's really what's going on down in the dugout.
Right. Valbuena strikes out on a foul tip. Strikeout number 5 for Brooks, who has pitched 6 innings and trails 3-1.
Time to name that Astro. It's brought to you by your local Honda dealer. This Astro was a role model for Joe Morgan. Tough guy to strike out and owes a lot to his mom. He's Nellie Fox. Had the 3rd lowest strikeout percentage of all time. That's pretty impressive. Brownie, I think you know more about this.
He was my favorite player.
He was your favorite player?
Yeah.
Well, tell us more about Nellie Fox.
A little second baseman, primarily with the White Sox, but also played for the Houston Astros and was a player coach and helped Joe Morgan learn how to play second base when Joe was breaking in as a rookie.
Okay, I've got questions I want to ask you about that.
All right.
So I'm always curious what leads a fan to really pick out a particular player. What was it about Nellie Fox that made him your favorite?
He got the most out of his ability. He was not a large player. In fact, small. He wasn't fast. He did not have a great arm, didn't have a whole lot of range. Why are we looking at Jose Altuve? Okay, but these players can become so very valuable because they get the most out of their abilities, and that's exactly what Jose Altuve has done. That's why we were looking at Jose Altuve. He's a Nellie Fox.
He's much more loaded than Nellie Fox in my book.
Yeah, he is much faster than Nellie Fox. He's quicker. But
was Nellie Fox capable of winning a batting title?
No, but he hit second behind Luis Aparicio, and as Julia said, he hardly ever struck out. They did a lot of hitting and running. He would take a pitch so Aparicio could steal. He would bunt him to third or hit a ground ball to get him to third. So he was extremely skilled at small ball, shall we say.
Okay, so here's where I see a big similarity between Altuve and Nellie Fox. They both were the kind of guys that might have required their mom to write them a letter to get a tryout.
Well, it is eerily similar, because Nellie Fox's mom wrote Connie Mack, the owner of the Philadelphia A's, and asked if her son could get a tryout. And he gave him one, and they signed him. Valencia strikes out, and the worm has turned here. Valencia 1 for 3 in this game, but he has just riddled the Astros with hits all season.
So it requires the final game of the season between these clubs to figure out a way to get Danny Valencia out.
Evidently. Paid attendance 22,543. That was an outstanding pitch. That's what it takes to get people out sometimes. Ball 1 to Billy Butler. So Nellie Fox became an MVP and a Hall of Famer. And, you know, those guys are so invaluable because they have to work so hard to be good major league players. A liner to right field coming in for it. Springer! George Springer laid out. Tremendous jump to rob Billy Butler.
See, I could see a lot of reasons instantly for someone to say, George Springer's my favorite player. And you'd have a laundry list of the reasons why. Carlos Correa would be that guy. Jose Altuve. Just an excitement creator. And when he's playing the way I think he can, he's the kind of difference maker that can turn your club from an also-ran into a runaway and go win it type team.
This is some kind of an outfield defense the Astros have. Stephen Vogt, the batter. He is struck out and flied to left. And you've seen it in this series. Ball 1 to Vogt. And that's with an excellent outfielder right now, waiting to get his chance to come back into the lineup, Carlos Gomez. Colby Rasmus has made terrific plays in left field. Marisnik is all over center field. Springer prevents hits in right field. It's one of the best outfields around right now. And for a strike, 2-1. Carlos Gomez gave me a good lesson in playing the outfield today before the game, Ash.
You guys were working on defensive skills together.
We were working on how do you read swings, how do you get a jump, and he explained it. 3-1.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that in words.
He watches the swings of the hitter, and he said you really can't get such a jump with a really great hitter like a Prince Fielder, because his bat is so quick. You can't read it as well as you can some of the other guys. Stephen Vogt takes a 2-out walk. That's only the second walk for Colin McHugh, but he said I'll go ahead and lean in a direction, and it depends on where we're positioned to begin with, but you know, certain left-handed hitters, once you see that front shoulder and where their hands are going with the swing, and you know how your pitcher's going to work the guy, you know sometimes he's going to hit it to left center field.
Yeah, and I was saying I wanted to hear it in words, because I think most of us have at some time or another gone out on the field and played a little baseball, and you saw somebody swing while you were playing defense, and you started to lean one way or another, and you kind of see it. I don't know that you can sum it up in words a lot of times, but there's something that you can see that tells you which way the ball might have the tendency to go.
That's what he said. Line shot over Lowry into the left field corner. Rasmus will have to go deep into the corner to play it. Ron Washington is going to stop his base runner at third, and it's a double for Smolinski. Stephen Vogt got the stop sign. Smolinski gets the 2-base hit, his 7th double of the year. Thought maybe he might send him with 2 outs in the inning.
You know, I think the only thing that stopped him was the fact that Carlos Correa has already, as part of a relay combination, thrown out 2 runners here in the series at the plate, and maybe wise to not go for the trifecta.
Excellent point.
Watch Carlos, he'll set up. He watched over his shoulder. And then to add to it, Stephen Vogt is not the speediest of base runners. Yeah, brakes sound like they've got some new pads on.
Just had the tires rotated last week. Brent Strom out to the mound. Marcus Semien would be the batter.
The most popular way to follow the action of Astros baseball is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat app right now.
You have it.
I've got it. You've got it. I know you were searching for scores earlier.
It's excellent. Marcus Semien has an RBI double and a walk. He can tie this game with a well-placed single. There's strike one to Semien. And Ron Washington, of course, processing everything when he made that stop sign decision for Stephen Vogt. Who's going to be batting next? Included in the equation. If he had had a superbly weak hitter coming up next, he might have sent him.
That's kind of that pre-thought stuff that goes on for a third base coach. You've got how many outs, you've got who coming up next, who's on the bases, who are you trying to send, and what kind of arms are you dealing with.
Chad Qualls and Oliver Perez are warming up for Houston. Late swing there, and McHugh has some pop on the heater. 97 pitches in. Qualls and Perez. Ground ball foul on the curveball. See if he comes back to that fastball or maybe the cutter, because Semien did not have a good swing at the last one he threw. One and two. Royals 10, Tigers 3, bottom of the 8th inning. Kansas City and Toronto 1 game apart in the race for the best record in the American League. Kansas City leading Toronto by 1. Now it's 2 and 2. Minnesota now leads the Angels 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th at Target Field. Got him on a heater. Strikeout number 6. The play by Springer looming large in this inning. No runs, a hit, 2 men stranded in scoring position at 7th inning stretch time. As the fans rise to sing God Bless America, the Astros lead it over the Oakland A's 3-1.
Please rise now, ladies and gentlemen, and join us as we take pause not only this afternoon's singing of God Bless America. Please welcome Nicholas Connors.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
And our Geico quote of the day comes from the skipper, talking about Matt Duffy, who had his first big league knock last night. I'm happy for that kid. He said 5 words since he's been up here. I think that was the first smile I've seen as he was coming up the field after the hit. It put a lot of energy in our dugout. Everyone was just so happy for him. His first major league hit was an RBI double, and it really sparked his entire dugout team as they went on to have a nice offensive night for that second half of the game. But Matt Duffy, a guy who told me he blacked out in his very first major league at bat, has already felt a little more comfortable. The team definitely helping him out, but just trying to make the most of his opportunities. A AAA PCL MVP. That's why AJ Hinch says he's so happy for him, because this is really a reward. He can obviously help the team, but they're rewarding a guy who did so much for them at the minor league level. And I don't even see him in the dugout right now, which means he's probably in the cage working on that swing, getting ready for just another pinch hit opportunity.
Ground ball up the middle, and there's a hit from Max Stassi. He's 2 for 3 in this one. So the September recalls have contributed this weekend in a major way to the Astros. Stassi gets the 7th inning started for Houston with this swing.
Now, I guess it comes down to, what do you believe more, the AAA season that Max Stassi had, or what you see with your own eyes on the big league level?
Hit number 7 for the Astros. Jake Marisnick is next. He had an infield hit to third in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. Jose Altuve making his way toward the on-deck circle. Valencia creeping in tight at 3rd. The bunt is fouled. Strike 1. And another note to what Julia reported on that great night last night. And he was up in the cage getting ready to come down, and Matt Duffy got a visit. He said it's so great in these big league parks to have the indoor cage, not have to be down in the right field corner and get the summons to come in and pinch hit. But he said Hank Conger ran up and said, "Hey, you're in the on-deck circle now." He said, "I ran down the steps and got up there and didn't put on my elbow pad or anything. And I looked out, and Drew Pomeranz was on the mound." There's a bunt to first base. Butler with the tag, and Marisnick gets sacrificed. Stassi in the second, 1 out. And he said, "I looked out and saw Pomeranz, and I thought, okay, I faced him in college. At least I know a little bit about him."
Funny thing about this game, and probably other sports as well, you hear a lot about preparation and the planning, what goes into each at bat or any portion of the game. And yet sometimes when you have no time to think about it is when you have your best success.
True. Altuve is 0 for 3. And you have to keep in mind, too, with these minor league players who have been everyday players, it's difficult to pinch hit because they have very little experience doing that. And Duffy's been an everyday player throughout his career in the minors. Not many pinch hit roles at all. Strike 1 for Altuve, trying to drive that pitch. Preston Tucker has responded so very well to pinch hitting, even though he had extremely limited minor league experience in that regard. Well, Tyler Duffy of Minnesota is shutting out the Angels 6-0, bottom of the 6th inning. It's the top of the 6th now, rather. Texas still in front of Seattle, 1-0 after 3. In for a strike to Altuve, and quickly it's 0-2. And Brooks has shown some staying power in this game. Approaching 100 pitches right now. Stassi checks to see where the second baseman is playing, Laurie, and he's not very far from the base.
Said the same thing of Sonny Gray last night, but I thought watching that first inning today, there is not much of a chance at all that we would see Aaron Brooks even a few innings into this game.
There's that Twins-Angels game with the strong start by Duffy. And the Astros hoping that holds up for a Twins win before they meet the Angels tomorrow night. Mariners just got 2 in the top of the 4th. They lead the Rangers 2-1. Line drive right field, hit toward the corner. Reddick back. Reddick with the catch on the run. Stassi got back late to tag up, and he won't get to third. We promised it earlier in tonight's game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And it's George Springer with the 2-run homer back in the 5th inning, snapping the 1-1 tie.
Great stuff to see for the Astros. Keep that man hot and keep that dugout dancing.
And now Springer also has a walk in addition to that 2-run homer, 1 for 2. Pat Neshek warming up for Houston. Carlos Correa on deck. Strike for Springer. Seattle has RBIs by Robinson Cano. He had one, and then check the other one for you in that 2-1 lead over Texas once the computer refreshes. And it's a refreshingly long pause. No, he's the only guy who has an RBI in that game. In tight, 1-1.
Never heard anybody refer to a long pause as being refreshing, but it's a refreshing comment on your part.
Stassi, the base runner there with 2 outs. That's cracked a long way to right center field. Here's the run by Burns, way back, and it reaches out and snags it right in front of that fence, about 375 feet away. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. A couple of good outfield plays for Oakland. Keep it tight. 3-1 Houston through 7.
Hispanic Heritage Month with the Hispanic Heritage Street Fest presented by Montejo. The Street Fest will now take place this Saturday from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. to accommodate the 12:05 game time. Enjoy live Latin music, food trucks, and games with a valid game ticket. For more information, visit Astros.com/Hispanic Heritage or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
3-1 lead for Colin McHugh. Aaron Brooks has stood up well today. 7 innings, allowing 7 hits and 3 runs. McHugh a little bit better. Both at 101 pitches through 7. We move to the 8th, and it's Carson Blair. He's 0 for 2. Fouls it for strike 1. Bullpen busy. Barry Zito is warming up for the Athletics. Astros have Tony Sipp throwing right now. Burns and Laurie to follow Blair to the plate. Blair pops it back. No balls, 2 strikes. Rebound time today for Colin McHugh. Zito with Oakland getting ready to play San Francisco next weekend. A lot of people are hoping that he might get a start next Saturday against Tim Hudson. A matchup of old Oakland teammates. 1-2. We understand the game next Saturday, which would be the start in question. Hudson has already been named the Giants starter, and it is a sellout in Oakland. Part of that is because the Giants fans come over to the East Bay in droves because they're unable to get tickets at AT&T.
That's been a magic ballpark and team. Obviously 3 World Series championships. Unfortunate for the Giants, it's an odd numbered year.
They gave it a battle though, didn't they? Had all kinds of injuries this year. There's a swing and a strikeout, and the tag is made by Stassi. Pretty quick tag. He didn't have to make a throw that way.
And by the way, Bruce Bochy is one of my favorite guys. He is fun to root for.
Yes. 7 strikeouts for Colin McHugh. Billy Burns is the batter. Burns 0 for 3. Well, our buddy Art Howe has been going through a difficult time. He had a fall in Pittsburgh, apparently down some stairs, and broke 4 ribs. Get well soon, Art. Ball 1. He provided Oakland A's fans with some wonderful seasons as their skipper, including that Hudson Zito and Mark Mulder trio of outstanding pitchers. 20 straight wins over that one stretch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Astros had a 10-game winning streak starting in late April, carrying through the first few days of May this year. Good thing they did. Altuve to his left to Valbuena. 2 outs.
I think the movie indicated that Art Howe bumbled his way through 20 consecutive wins. What an unfortunate movie that, or philosophy that put out there for Art.
That's Hollywood.
Yep.
Brett Laurie is 0 for 3. Those movie awards that are given out sometimes do not account for accuracy at all or lack of same.
Reality has no part in this movie.
No.
That's what they need to say.
That's ball 1 to Laurie. Colin McHugh going deep into this one. He's in bonus time. Washington is pounding Miami 11-3 in the bottom of the 8th in Washington. That one caught the edge, and it's 1-1. Thought that might be a little outside, but Colin put it right where he wanted to.
Colin just continuing that home ballpark magic that he's had. 5th consecutive start at home for Colin that has been spectacular.
Michael Bourne jersey. Struck out Laurie. That's a 1-2-3-8 for Colin McHugh. And he has 7 punch outs along the way and a 3-1 lead.
now for our AT&T call to the bullpen as the Oakland A's do turn to the pen and they bring on a little bit of the past. Barry Zito will work it for the A's. First Major League appearance since September 29th of 2013. Just recalled by the club. Back in 2002, Cy Young Award winner. Had that with the Oakland A's. So, a lot of nostalgia going on right here.
Zito was just brought up from AAA Nashville Wednesday. He's a first-round pick of Oakland in June of '99 from UCLA. That Cy Young Award, as you saw, came in '02. He's a three-time All-Star. Spent 7 seasons with Oakland with a 102-63 record. And then he signed a 7-year contract with San Francisco in December of '06. As he comes back now, he's 4th on the Oakland career list in wins with 102 and strikeouts and games started. He did not pitch in 2014. I understand he got a call from General Manager Billy Beane, and he was in a meeting for a recording session and had certainly turned the page on his baseball career, but thought about it and decided it would be fun to come back. Carlos Correa is waiting for him. Taking ball 1. Brooks in 7 innings allowed 7 hits, 3 runs. He walked 2, struck out 5. Zito deals, and it's 1-1. Zito at Nashville was 8-7 with a 3.46 ERA. Made 22 starts there. In 2002, Carlos Correa was 8 when Barry Zito won the Cy Young Award. Two and 1. It's got to be a special at bat here for Carlos Correa in a season of firsts, facing somebody who won the Cy Young when he was 8.
Is he better known for that Cy Young or for having dated Alyssa Milano?
Okay.
Guess it depends on perspective, huh?
Well, that's kind of a Cy Young of dating, right?
Has he made this guitar thing of his a prominent part of his life?
He's involved with music heavily. Foul back. Not sure about to what extent he's playing or composing or exactly what part of it, but yes, apparently so, He signed a minor league contract with an invitation to spring training February 17th. He has stayed at Nashville all season long. That's amazing for a guy who's done what he's done. Zito can't reach it. Semien comes in, throws out Correa. 1 out in the home 8th.
Houston Methodist helps us get to know. Let's do it. Tony Sipp. Favorite player growing up, Ken Griffey Jr. We've seen that a lot. Best place he's traveled, Brazil. Sounds fun. Hidden talent, can sleep the day away. Yeah, that's a talent that I think a lot of guys playing ball probably perfect pretty well.
Zito is 37 now. Jed Lowry faces him. Lowry is 1 for 3. In the Oakland ninth, they'll have the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up. Reddick, Valencia, and Butler. And the way Valencia has hit against the Astros, people are probably starting to think, okay, if Reddick gets on, Valencia in a 3-1 game represents the tying run.
Brownie, did you know that Barry Zito made his acting debut in 2003? Guest starring on the show then on TV, Jag. I know that was one of your faves.
It was a good show, yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Now, I don't know if he's had follow-up acting opportunities.
Two and 1. Well, he's been a starting pitcher, so this relief gig is not something he has done all that often. Tap foul. 2-2. Steven Strasburg went 7 for Washington today, giving up 2 runs, one of them earned, walking 1 and striking out 10. And he should be a winning pitcher by the end of the day. It's 13-3 Washington over Miami in the top of the 9th. It's now Seattle 2, Texas 2. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Arlington. Inside to Lowry, and it's 3-2. You'd think a lot of guys who have had the accomplishments and the financial resume of Barry Zito might go to AAA for a while, and then if they weren't called up to the big leagues, cash it in.
And that only if they had this burning desire to still play the game.
Sure. Here's Reddick coming over for this foul ball, and he can't get there. But he stuck it out all season long, AAA.
Yeah, admirable.
Speaks to how much he loves baseball.
See Billy Butler going down the line on that pop fly?
Yes. Did it remind you of anything?
He needs a new pair of jogging shoes.
Okay. He DHs a lot. Lowry works a 1-out walk. Julia Morales is where?
Hey!
Where are you? There you are. What's going on? You never come up
Guys,
here.
I made the trip all the way up here. One, to get some of your birthday cake.
Good,
You
good,
guys
good. You got some.
weren't going to share with me, but to wish you a happy birthday, Brownie,
Thank
in
you.
person. Made the trip all the way up here.
I'm glad you got some cake.
I'm glad I could celebrate it with you, too, before my homestand comes to an end.
Yeah.
I'm
and
leaving a little bit early.
It's time to do planning. And
Got some things going on. But
Yeah.
I'll be back for the road trip, so I'll see you.
We'll miss you.
Yeah, I'll be back, though. But it's your day.
You take your boots.
You're coming
Yeah.
back to Clinch in Arizona, right?
That's right. I'll be there.
That's great. Thanks, Julia.
Happy birthday, Brownie.
Thank you.
And I'm going to enjoy your cake.
Oh, you do. It's chocolate on chocolate, so you'll like that. Oh, nice photo. Thanks, Carl.
There's Diane bringing in that birthday cake for you.
Diane brought in a lovely cake. Strike to Rasmus. Colby homered his first time up. Now it's one deep to right field. Reddick tracking it. Reddick watching it. That's a 2-run homer over Reddick. Second home run of the day for Rasmus. Insurance runs. And Rasmus now has 21 homers, 53 runs batted in, 5-1, and some breathing room for the Valencia at bat in the 9th.
You are going to have to thank Mr. Colby Rasmus for the birthday presents today.
And also Julia with the karma for the 2-run homer, even without the boots.
Don't forget George Springer while you're in there.
Nice swing.
You start the day with 19. You know you're thinking about it. You want 20. Why stop there?
Big day for Colby. Evan Gaddis is 1 for 3. 3 homers for the Astros. They're at 205 for the year now. Almost hit him on the foot. Ball 1 to Gaddis. Got to be a good moment for Colby. For one thing, he hit his second home run, but for another, it came off Zito. And yet another much-needed insurance runs for the 9th inning. Off the glove of Valencia. He can't locate it, and that should be a hit for Gaddis. We'll see. Hit the ball pretty hard.
Take a look at that second home run of the day. Big floating curveball that stayed on that inside edge where the left-hand hitting Colby Rasmus could just turn on it, rake it, and then have every wish fulfilled as it gets to the first row. Gaddis just stings that one hopper that is the delight of every Major League third baseman.
That's hit number 9. Now Matt Duffy is the pinch hitter for Valbuena. And Duffy came up with that important pinch RBI double last night. 1 for 3 as a big leaguer. The Astros trailed 6-4, and his double in the 6th inning made it a 6-5 Oakland lead. Astros went on to win it 10-6 in their comeback. Duffy takes, and it's 1-1 to Matt. Duffy probably will stay into place at first base since he's pinch hitting for Valbuena. Stassi's on deck. The MVP of the Pacific Coast Leagues, the entire league, and Fresno Grizzlies top player, of course, Matt Duffy. 2 balls and a strike. He went to the University of Vermont, and they shut down the baseball program after 2 years there, so he transferred to the University of Tennessee. He's the last University of Vermont player to become a big leaguer. And it's 3-1. And he said because they ended the program at Vermont, he did not have to wait a year to play when he transferred to Tennessee. And I love that competition in the Southeastern Conference, of course. That's where he faced Drew Pomeranz. He faced him last night. Fly ball out to right field. Reddick waiting. 2 down. Now Max Stassi, who's 2 for 3, comes to the plate. Mariners 2, Rangers 2, top of the 5th inning now in Arlington.
Max Stassi with a couple of hits, and he's catching a winner as we speak. A very nice job.
Good all-around day for Max. Ball 1 inside. Twins 6, Angels nothing. Bottom of the 7th at Target Field. Nick Tropiano's pitching in relief in that game. 1-1. He's down to start the Wednesday afternoon game here. Mike Scioscia has been wheeling and dealing with that bullpen. He uses a lot of pitchers.
Should be fun.
The starter Matt Shoemaker only gave him 3 2/3 innings today, and they had the doubleheader yesterday. 2 balls and a strike. They used Andrew Heaney, who has pitched well against the Astros in that doubleheader, so he won't be scheduled to start in this series coming up. Flared out towards second base. Laurie coming in for it, and with the catch, that ends the 8th inning. 2-run scoring on 2 hits. Colby Rasmus trots out another Colby Jack. Number 21 of the season. It's 5-1 Astros. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Woodlands Church, a big church makes a big difference. And by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. Well, the scorecards have to be updated. More players are being inserted now. So they'll draw some lines and make a little preference here for Matt Duffy at first base. He takes over there after pinch hitting for Luis Valbuena. And staying into play first. And a new pitcher as well. The closer comes in, Luke Gregerson. Apparently he was warming up when it was 3-1, so that would have been a safe situation. So now, you know, and AJ's conscious of this. I've already warmed him up, so let's go ahead and bring him in the game.
One other aspect. Before the game, the conversation may have been from Luke, hey, I really would appreciate getting in today, no matter what the circumstance may be. It's always that conversation that goes on.
Josh Reddick takes a look at it. It's 1-1. Reddick is 0 for 3. Colin McHugh in 8 innings allowed just 4 hits and 1 run. He walked 2 and struck out 8. Now cuts in on Reddick and he fouls it 1 and 2. And of course the risk is that with the games coming up all very important in the final 2 weeks, Luke Gregerson could potentially be working a lot. The Astros hope so because they'd like to be winning a lot. But you're right, they may have had that conversation and Luke may have expressed a desire to pitch. And he has not pitched very much in the month of September. He missed a few days away for the birth of his first child, Logan John, and also the Astros were losing a lot, so he did not pitch in those games when they were trailing going to the late innings. Foul ball. 12 games remaining after this one today. 6 more at home and that final road trip to Seattle and Arizona. They've had a good view, and it was 1-1 until that home 5th inning when George Springer hit the 2-run homer. Back to Gregerson. 1 out.
And that home run came with a couple of outs. So, yeah, that was one of the things we talked about, how well the Astros have hit in their wins, and in particular with a couple of outs and men in scoring position. So they kind of fulfill all that here this afternoon.
They've had such a major difference statistically with how they've done in those clutch situations in wins opposed to losses. Huge difference, as you would surmise. Danny Valencia takes strike 1. Valencia is 1 for 3.
Yeah, but how many times do you lose when you pick up 10 hits?
Right.
And I'm sure there are enough of those games. It's not like you get 2 hit every time you lose a ball game. It's kind of amazing how drastic the stats are.
It is kind of amazing. In their 5 wins in September, they've hit .397 with 2 outs, .346 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. In the 12 losses, .235 and 200. Valencia strikes out. 2 outs.
Stay tuned after the game as Bart Ennis and Mike Stanton break down all the action from today's game, plus interviews from the clubhouse and much more on the Astros postgame show presented by Houston Methodist.
Win number 79 and out away. Luke Gregerson facing Billy Butler. Butler's 1 for 3. Seattle has taken the lead again 4-2 at Texas. Still batting in the top of the 5th. Twins leading the Angels 6-0, top of the 8th. It could be a day when Houston is the only one of the top 3 to win in the AL West. The swing by Butler takes the count to 0-2.
I don't know what's going on with that slider right now, but a couple of right-hand hitters completely fooled.
Yes. Well, Derek Holland is pitching today for the Rangers, so he should be pitching next weekend here against the Astros. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Astros, with a win today, would be 6-12 in September. But yet, they're getting closer and closer to playing meaningful baseball in October beyond the end of the regular season.
Max Stassi continues to make it look the way it should look in the major leagues on blocking pitches in the dirt. Look at that.
Is it again?
That's like the blocking drill in spring training when everybody's taken one after another, and you're being told what to do, and okay, you just do it. But drop the glove down, keep it on the ground, don't go after the baseball, let the body fold over the top because you've got the glove down, and that's doing it all.
The Mariners just dropped a 5 spot on Derek Holland in the 5th inning, 7-2 Seattle over Texas. Holland's given up 7 earners. Correa to his right. Throws out Butler, and the Astros win it 5-1 to take 2 of 3 from this weekend series with Oakland. They are now 79-71 with 12 games remaining. 2 home runs from Colby Rasmus. That's the 11th time an Astro has hit 2 home runs in a game this year. Luke Gregerson gets the final 3 outs. Colin McHugh is a 17-game winner, and the Astros take it 5-1.